Throughout the months of November and December, MCTC Production shines a spotlight on our military personnel who sacrificed their lives to guarantee our freedom. Today we have a special guest with us, Roddy George. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today, Roddy.
Thank you.
All right, so what made you pursue a career in the armed forces?
I always had a lot of history with the military, with a lot of family members, and sometimes being in West Virginia, whenever I joined, there's not a whole lot of career opportunities.
Yeah.
So the military seemed like the thing to go. Plus I had two brothers that were already in the military and 20-some family members, so it just seemed like the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, yeah.
Right.
What branch did you serve?
I served in the Army.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Where and when did you serve?
I served, I first joined whenever I got out of high school here, and it was 1996 whenever I joined, and my first duty station was actually overseas. I've been to Kentucky, I've been to Colorado, I've been all over a good bit. It let me travel a good bit, so my job let me do that, so it was a good thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. What age were you when you joined? You said you were out of high school, right?
I just turned 19 years old, and there's a little process where you have to wait a little while before you're able to be selected.
Yeah.
I left in October of that year, so I joined right out of high school, but the job that I chose to do just didn't have openings until October of that following year, so did nothing but run and try to get in good shape before I actually had to go. So
what role were you in the military?
My job in the military, I was a cavalry scout. It's one of the, there was a good camaraderie in the cavalry scout. It's one of the oldest branches of the United States military that ever exist, dating back before the Civil War, actually. And I just thought that was something that was intrigued me. Being a history person, I always liked history, so that right there was something that I enjoyed doing. So the roles have changed later on. You know, we got modernized. We don't ride horses anymore. Sometimes during ceremonial things, but now we drive Humvees, and we have the, you know, a little bit more easier on our bodies, so to speak.
Yeah. So did anybody inspire you to join the military?
I have a few cousins that were in the military, and he was in the Air Force. Whenever he came in, I was young, he was older, and most people have those cousins or a family member that they always want to pal around to, and I always palled around him. He always had nice cars. He got to travel everywhere, lived in the Bahamas. I was like, that's nice. I want to be able to travel like he did and stuff. But him being in the Air Force and what he did, he was able to, and me being in the Army and my job, I wasn't able to travel nearly as much, but he did have an inspiration in my life. And we had a career day here at North Marion one time, and the recruiter that was here I talked to one that was in the Army, and there was something happened at that school that day, and he jumped right into action and everything, and I was beside him when this happened. So, and that right there made me think, you know what, that guy's he's pretty on top of it. So that really inspired me, you know, to want to be something similar to that and be able to help people. So that right there was my main thing, was being able to help people. So
do you have any friends in the military that you are still in contact with?
As I still do. I haven't probably seen some of these guys, and probably it's been a long time since I've been out of the military and they've been out, but I still keep in good contact with them. I have a friend in Cleveland. I talk to him on a regular basis. Another one in Ohio. You learn to have friends in a lot of different places. So I'm covered from California to Florida to all over. I have a good bit of friends everywhere, and you kind of create that camaraderie where you keep in touch. It's more like a brotherhood than anything. You know, they're your brothers forever, or your sisters forever. So you definitely will stay in touch with them, like them or not. They'll keep in touch with you too. So.
What was the best thing you did in the military?
One of the best things I did in the military is be able to learn like leadership skills and stuff like that. I mean, we were able to go on some. My first deployment, we were able to go into some humanitarian things and be able to help people that didn't have like water or some little stuff like that right there. Always, they don't have food, or you have to guard a consulate or something because there's not not very much stability in some of those countries that we go to. So that stuff right there, being able to help people in general is always inspiring, and I always enjoy doing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What was it like re-entering civilian life following deployment?
A lot of people don't realize that, but whenever you're in the military, you're trained repetitively to do certain things, especially your job. So if you're a medic, for example, and you see somebody with an injury, you instantly jump right on that. You don't hesitate. It becomes muscle memory. So you have that muscle memory built up in you, and whenever you do certain jobs, that always sticks with you no matter what. And it's very tough to adapt for some people whenever they come back, because different jobs, different levels, and it's hard for some people. But me, I adjust, of course. I still get out, I still go to work, I still, meet people and everything else. But there's still some of those things where you have to learn how to adjust. And for some people, it's difficult, and they actually need to get help learning how to adjust. Yeah. And there's programs out there to help people like that now, more than what there were, back before our eras and stuff. So everything's starting to be able to come full circle around, where people are actually starting to really pay more attention to our veterans and everything. I think that's pretty important. Yeah, that is pretty important.
Are there habits that you continue to carry with you from your time in the military?
Yes. Well, again, like the muscle memory thing that comes into play. If you're a driver in the military, you're constantly, that enhances your skills all the time. So no matter what that is, that sticks with you no matter what, or wherever you're at. It's bittersweet. It's a good trait sometimes it's a bad trait. Some of us don't get a chance to sleep a lot when we're in the military, and sometimes that follows us afterwards because it's a form of habit. Sometimes breaking a habit is very hard to do, and some people can't. But yes, I do carry some of that stuff with me to this day, and to me it's a good thing.
Yeah. How did your mindset change following enlistment?
I actually picked one of the harder jobs to actually do whenever I joined the military, and my brother was actually a recruiter, and he recruited me. And then I had to actually talk to his recruiter because he didn't know a lot about that job. And they told me it was a very highly dropout rate. And I figured if I can do that, if I can accomplish that, no matter what life has to throw at me, I can pretty much accomplish it. And that is the truth. It's a mindset, and that was one where I like to be at, for sure.
Yeah. Did you have any assumptions about the military that were proven wrong after joining?
Yes, actually. There's a lot of them, because a lot of people will tell you some horror stories about joining the military, and some people will tell you good things about joining the military. And I have a lot of family members that are in the military, so I heard a lot of different things from them. My father was a Marine. A couple brothers that are, Army, cousins that are Army, and then Air Force. We had the whole basis of the armed forces pretty much covered with our family members, and still do to this day. So I heard stuff from each one of them. So when I got into the Army, I already knew kind of what to expect, and if something bad were to happen, I was already expecting this to happen, but it was never nothing that was horrifying enough to make you want to try to go home or anything. So.
What is something you learned that you will never forget?
Leadership skills. They teach you how to be. They pretty much just throw you into the fire. If you're not squared away, and your job's not squared away, that they'll make you go to the end of the line. They'll put somebody else in there, and this is a rapid thing. And what that does is that teach people how to do management skills. So if you're below me, and you're in my thing, and you're messed up, and that means I'm messed up for not squaring you away, and it's a chain reaction. So those kind of things follow you for life, and to me it's a good thing, because you don't lose that later on, and you're able to help people succeed, because you want that for yourself, your company, if you have one when you get out, and even friendships are like that. So
what advice would you share with anybody who's considering enlisting in the military?
I would say do a lot of research on what you want to do. The possibilities on jobs in the military nowadays are pretty much endless. to intelligence to doctors and, and stuff like that. They have it all covered. I mean, you can, over 300 jobs that you can get to in the military.
Yeah.
People are bound to find one of those jobs that they really like out of all those certain jobs. Either it's the Marines, the Coast Guard, the Air Force, or even the Army, and now they have different branches of military that they've never had before. And they definitely take better care of their soldiers than what they've ever have. Stuff that I went through and didn't carry on to me out in civilian life. So that makes it rougher for us. Older veterans, they have to go back and get recertified for stuff, as opposed to nowadays, whenever they go in, that stuff carries them on into civilian life. So what you learn in the military actually helps carry you on through your future. And in college, they pay for your college, your housing and food. And so to me, it was a no-brainer to go through with that. But it's not for everybody. But I'll definitely say do some research, know what you want to do, and pursue that, and talk to a recruiter. They're definitely very skilled into helping you find out what fits for you. They even have apps now on phones where you can narrow it down. Some people will look at 300 jobs and get so confused. They're like, I don't even want to, I'm done. And now you can take a little test, takes you like 3 minutes, and they can narrow the job down to what you want. So they have apps and technology nowadays to make people, that are younger generations actually really want to join the military. And I think that's very good. That, I think they've learned from past experiences of what not to do, and they're changing that. And luckily now, in the generations that we're in now, where the younger kids, like your age, you're going to go on to do better things, and it's going to get better as you go on because they're adapting to our surroundings nowadays. And I think that's very good for the future generations, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking with us today, Roddy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.